Alright humans, so if you go to justlearn.com/how_to_code, don't worry, that'll be linked in the description below. You can scroll down, we're going to do 2.8, function evaluation and scope 2 nested. So you guys are going to go ahead and click on this, it generates a problem. Let me copy and paste this problem into the editor and see if you guys can beat me to the solution. It says, what does the function call on the last line evaluate to? So the last line's already here. It's calling g with these parameters and doing some random arithmetic, alright? So they'll pause the video and see if you guys can beat me to the solution. I'm gonna go over spoilers in 3, 2, and 1. Alright, so I'm gonna assume that you guys took a good swing at it. So we're gonna call g with 1 and this expression. That needs to be a value, so 6 plus 5 is going to be 11. Alright, so now we plug t and k with 1 and 11. So anywhere we see a t, well, that's going to be 1. There are no t's, so let's move on to k. K is going to be 11, so are there any k's in here? Yeah, there is right here. So you're going to be 11. Alright, so now we can do our left to right evaluation, almost. So 10, 5, and then calling the function L with 1 and 3. So now we're going to jump to this function and plug in these numbers, alright? So in the function L, t is going to be 1, and then k is going to be 3. So in the body of L, the function L, alright? Let's see, are there any t's in here? Yeah, there's 1, and that's going to be bound to 1 because we plugged in a 1 right here, right? So hopefully you guys can see that. There we go. What about a k? There are no k's, so we do nothing. Alright. Now there's also an f, so that has to be looked up because it's not in the parameter list. There's only t and k. So f is going to be 8. There we go. 8. And we can add this up. So 8, let's see, 16, 17, 18. So this function call is going to be 18. Alright. L of 1 and 3 is going to be 18. And now we can finish our call to g. Notice how we had to call a function within a function, right? That's the exercise, right? That's the meat of this exercise. We call a function g, that calls a function L, right? Right over here. So, what was that again? 18, right? Because we just evaluated it, all right? Now I'm just going to copy and paste this into this editor window. 44 should be the answer. So I'm going to plug in 44 without checking it. Again, you guys should be able to do this in your heads. When you get to this last part, feel free to copy and paste it. Just don't run the file like right when you get the problem, because that defeats the purpose of the exercise. You guys can get the answer out that way, but again, you guys need to be able to do this for the later sections, alright? So that's right, it's 44. Let's move on to the next one. Gotta copy and paste this one into my editor. Alright, okay, and here, so what does the function call on the last line evaluate to? Here's line 6, it's calling q with 3 and k. Pause the video and see if you guys can beat me to the solution. I'm going to go over spoilers in 3, 2, and 1. Alright, so I'm going to assume that you guys took a good swing at it. So here we're going to call function q with 3 and k. K needs to be a value, so you got to look up for the variable k. And it's 8. So u are going to be 8. And now we can continue calling the function q. So we're going to plug 3 into t and 8 into x. Alright, so are there any t's in here? No, there aren't. So let's move on to x. Are there any x's in here? No, there aren't. Alright, so now we're in the body of this function. And we can do the subtraction operation. But there's some function calls to v that need to be reduced to a number first. Alright. So here we're going to call v with 8 and 1. So here's the function v on line 4. We're going to plug in 8 to t. And again, anywhere we see a t in the body of this function, that's going to be bound to 8, alright? So there's one t here, you're going to be bound to 8. So let me just copy and paste this to the side here, because we have two function calls in there. They look a little different, alright? So here, let's see, that was going to be, this t was going to be 8, as I just said earlier. And this k is also going to be 8, alright? Because the k, look up from here, is 8. That was just kind of coincidental that they're the same number. Alright, so that's 29. So this function call will evaluate to 29. We keep moving right, and we see another function call with 8 and 3. So are there any t's in here? Yep. So that's going to be 8, and that's going to be 8. So that's going to be the same, alright? 29, I mean. 9. And if we evaluate this function, we should get negative 15. According to my head. Oh, it's not. Alright, never listen to me in my mental arithmetic, alright? Negative 63 should be the answer here. So there we go. Alright. Alright, let's do another one. Copy and paste this into my editor. And there we go. So, as always, what does the function call on the last line evaluate to? So line 6, we're going to call end with k. Again, see if you guys can pause the video and beat me to the solution. I'm going to go for spoilers in 3, 2, and 1. Alright, so I'm assuming that you guys took a good swing at it. So n with k, we got to resolve k to a value. So it's going to be 7 as we look up the variable. So it's going to be 7. Now we can call n and plug 7 into g. Are there any g's in this function? No, there aren't, so it doesn't do anything with it. So let's try to evaluate this expression. Minus 10k4. So here, there's a k. There's no k's in the argument list, so we got to grab that 7 over here. So there we go. And it doesn't even seem to call function a. Alright, this function a is just here for some reason, for no reason, other than to throw you off. So I'm going to paste this, and it's negative 1. Let's run this here. Alright. Let's do one last one. This is going to be the last one for good measure. I'm going to copy and paste this into my editor. Alright. And, as always, see if you guys can beat me to the solution. Pause the video, see what line 7 evaluates to. Calling e with 7 and these other arguments. Alright. Alright, so I'm going to assume that you guys took a good swing at it. So e with 7 and this expression, minus 5. That should be 0. Now we can plug this into the function e. So 7 is going to be s. So anywhere in the body that we see an s, that's going to be 7. So you're going to be 7. There we go. So t is going to be 0. Anywhere we see a t, you're going to be 0. No t's in this body. And z. No z's in this body either. Alright? So we're going to try to do this plus expression, but again, left to right evaluation says that all the arguments to this plus needs to be values. Alright? So we're going to call w with 10. So we're going to call this function plugging s to 10. Alright? So are there any s's in the body of this function? No, there aren't. So there's a t though, and that t has to be looked up, and that's going to be 1. Alright? Because it's not in the parameter list. Don't get it confused with this bottom function. Alright? So if you evaluate this number to the side here, that's going to be negative 3. There we go. Alright, so now we can evaluate this plus expression. I'm going to paste it in here, assuming that I plugged all the numbers in correctly. The answer should be 36. Alright, there we go. 36. I typed in 26 by accident, my bad. There we go, alright. So I'm going to hit next. And yeah. So try to wrap up the rest on your own. Again, don't run the code, right? Don't just copy and paste into the editor and then hit Control R to get the answer out, because again, you can't do that. For this case, it's negative 15, right? And then you can just plug this in. That defeats the whole purpose of this exercise, because again, you'll need to know how to plug and do some of these operations in your head. Alright, that's about it for this one, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching, human. If you wish to interact with more of your kind, join our Discord linked in the description or on screen. If you want to aid in my quest for world domination, consider hitting the sub button. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it, thumbs down if you didn't. Any questions, comments, or suggestions, fire away below. Also, check out the annotations on screen for the next relevant video.